Hello guys, welcome to my summer camp speed build. How are we all doing today? I don't know why I just stopped in the middle of that sentence. Anyway, are we happy? Are we excited? You better be excited because I am super excited to show you this build. Now I know I say every single time after every build, oh I love it so much, I love the way it turned out and stuff, but I really mean it with this one. I think this turned out so pretty, and I think that it's probably a lot down to the fact that I footed around with the terrain tool. I don't normally use the terrain tool at all. I get scared of stuff like that, but I thought I would try it, and I didn't have a plan of what I was gonna do. I just wanted to do like a rock face cliff at the back, and then I would go from there, and it just morphed into this summer camp, and I really like the way it turned out. I do. I think that this is probably my most creative build. I don't know if that doesn't say much about me, but I like it. I think that it's got lots of little details everywhere. It seems like a really lovely magical place. I can't wait to try and use it in my gameplay. So I do hope that you like it. I mean, this rock face for a start took me so long. I was mixing between using the rocks, just like the normal rocks, and then a bunch of different debug rocks, and it took me forever to get that bit sorted. Oh wait, let me introduce the video first. Hello! Today's video is part of my Story Speed Build Sunday series. If you're new here, this series happens on, you guessed it, Sunday. And basically I just share a build with you and I ramble on about something that's happened in my life. Last week I told you guys about a bunch of cows that were running about my village at 1 AM. This week I'm speaking about working at an American summer camp. You guys seem to enjoy this series. We're just gonna keep it running. We're going with the flow until either you guys don't enjoy it anymore or I run out of eventful things that have happened, which probably won't be too long, but hey ho, we're going with it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into the story then. So I went to work at a summer camp about 4 years ago. I applied through a company and this camp asked me to come teach horse riding and be a lifeguard because I have a lot of experience with horses and I would absolutely love to own my own horse one day. That's a big dream of mine. Me and my mum always wanted to own a horse, but it was so expensive. We just couldn't, and we couldn't dedicate the time to it because, you know, I was in school and she was working and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting off track. Yeah, and also I could swim really well. I've swam since I was like a baby. I'm like a fish underwater, people say. So yeah, both those things I was super happy to go do, super confident to go do. Now, the day I was flying out, I met with a couple of the other Scottish girls who were travelling to the same camp. We met through the staff Facebook page. Basically, this trip was eventful from the get-go because I made my way to my gate and I was standing there for a solid 15 minutes, but I just kept feeling like something wasn't right. I was waiting to board this plane and they hadn't opened the boarding yet. And I kept looking at my ticket and I kept thinking, I don't know, something's not right. And then I realised that this gate was going to Belfast International and my ticket said Belfast City. I hadn't put two and two together. You can call me stupid if you want, I just hadn't. I hadn't thought about that. So there was me panicking thinking, oh my god, I'm at the wrong gate. And I was like, I don't know where my gate is. So I started pelting it down the hallways to try and find my gate. I got there in time, don't worry guys, I got there. It's all good, but I was pretty breathless and really stressed. Like I stress about the slightest thing, so it's safe to say I was really on edge. Anyway, I got on my plane, all fine, the flight was easy, and then I got to Belfast City Airport and I went to go find my connecting flight and I couldn't see it anywhere. So I asked the lady at the desk and she was like, what are you doing here? You need to be at Belfast International. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And I hadn't realised because we were given all the travel itinerary by the agency that booked it and it was in like small print next to the name, Belfast City, Belfast International, so I hadn't noticed there were different airports. Again, yeah, okay, I probably just didn't look at it close enough, alright, I get it. Anyway, so I hadn't realised I had to be at another airport and my transfer was like, it was a short window. So there was me panicking like anything, had to run and grab a taxi. And I don't know if anyone else is like this, when you're in a taxi, it's so bad, but I always, like, either I'm on the phone with someone or I pretend to be on the phone with someone. Because I don't want to talk to the taxi driver, so I just always think I'm busy. Is anyone else like that? Is that weird or is that an okay thing to do? feel a bit rude. But yeah, getting my next flight when I finally got to the airport, that was all fine. That went through fine. There was loads of people going to different camps there. But yeah, I was sitting next to this young family, this mum, dad, their kids. The mum in that family, she was so incredibly sweet. Like, she was just asking me all about like how I was feeling about camp and all this sort of stuff. When we landed and we got off, she made sure that I stuck with them while we got our luggage and made our way to border control. And then once we got there, we obviously had to split up into our different groups. And then they waited for me at the other side and they checked that I knew where I was going and everything like that before they left. It was just so lovely and sweet because, yeah, it was my first time travelling alone. I was really scared, but she made me feel really settled, which was nice. I mean, I did tell her, oh yeah, I know where I'm going and everything, and I didn't. But I didn't want to be rude and keep them waiting, you know, they were on holiday. Yeah, we'd been told on our itinerary we had to get on this specific bus that would take us to a central bus station in New York. We flew into Newark Airport, by the way. There was signs for the bus and I followed the signs and then I couldn't find the bus and it was all very confusing, so I kept going back to the bit I'd flown into. And Newark Airport has I think it has like a central area and then it has 3 or 4 different wings, if that makes sense. And I was in one of them and my 2 friends had both flown into the same one, which was a different one. So I was trying to get in contact with them to find them so we could find the bus. And I couldn't find my way there and everything, and I was just stressed and panicking. So I was on the phone with my mum and I was like, Mum, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, I was so stressed. Like, looking back, I just needed to take a chill pill and just think, alright, how do I find my friends? Let's find them, focus on one thing at a time. But I was really worried that I was going to miss the bus and it was going to leave without me and I'd be stranded here. Eventually, I got on this train thing that connected the things and we found my friends and we were walking about for a good half an hour trying to find this bus. We finally found it and we went to go get on the bus. And there was us walking on, like trying to hand our money to the bus driver because we didn't know how it worked. We were just trying to give him some money and he just completely ignored us. So we're standing there holding our money out and he's just like blanking that we existed. So we were just like, okay, I guess we're just gonna get on the bus now. That was so awkward. Anyway, bus ride was pretty uneventful, I guess. We were talking to this lady, she was because she heard our accents and stuff, so she was asking us all about like what we're doing over there and stuff. And it was thanks to her that we actually got off the bus in time. We got off at this giant bus station. Like, I've never seen a bus station so big. It was like a massive multi-story car park, but with hundreds and hundreds of bus stances. Like, it was massive. So we got off and we spent a good, I don't know, it must have been a good 40 minutes just trying to find our stance. And then when we found it, we were super excited. This might sound really silly to some people. We were super excited because we were getting a Greyhound bus. Now, like, Greyhound buses are what you see in the movies, you know? So we were like, oh my gosh, it's a Greyhound bus. Honestly, this whole trip, we were just like in awe of everything. There was nothing special about the bus. It was just a bus. But because it was a Greyhound one, like you see, I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard that. That was my tummy. Anyway, yeah, there was nothing special about the bus. We were just, I don't know, we were being weird. So after a couple of hours, we got to the town next to where the camp was and we got picked up and we got driven to the camp. And let me tell you, this camp really looked like the movies. It was so picture perfect with the long dirt road leading up to it, and we passed like ball fields and a tennis court and the lake and all these little cabins in the distance. Honestly, it was so beautiful. It was actually really funny because when we got there and we were getting like help getting our stuff out of the car and stuff, and us 3 Scottish girls were going on about how buzzing we were. Oh my god, it was so buzzing to be here and stuff. And then one of the camp girls was like, you can't say that. And apparently, buzzing in the States means that you're high. We didn't know that. Buzzing to us in the UK, we use it as like, we're super excited. You know, you're pumped and all that sort of stuff. So there was us going on about how excited we were, how buzzing we were. And they were worried we were saying we were high working at a girls' summer camp. And also thinking about it, we'd been going on about it on the bus and in the airport about how buzzing we were. People were probably thinking, oh my god, shut up. I don't know if that's the legit thing, if that's like over the whole of the United States. Obviously the United States is a huge place, there's probably loads of different terminology. Is that like, if you're from the United States, is that what it means? Let me know. Now the first week we were at camp, we were getting training and stuff like that, and we were assigned the classes that we would be teaching the girls. And I was assigned water sport classes. Now, I've never done any water sports a day in my life, so I was like, right, how am I supposed to teach this? But it did get changed. I got put on horse riding and lifeguard duty. I don't know if there must have been a mistake or something, but I was, safe to say I was a little bit worried. But we got it sorted, it's all good. And our lifeguard training was so intense. I mean, obviously it should be, but it's a lot of pressure. Like, I didn't think about it beforehand. It's a lot of pressure. Someone's life's in your hands, you know, it's your duty to protect these people. And that was really scary. But like, they kept drilling that into us during our training. I mean, they totally should, because it should be taken so seriously. But this is where it all goes downhill. Are you ready? During one of our lifeguard training exercises, we had to swim to the bottom of the lake to retrieve a rock. It was just part of the dragging weight up sort of thing. And when I was down there, my leg got caught in some of the reeds. And I started to panic, as you would. I mean, I was stuck underwater. And then I felt something behind my knee pop, and I lost all power in my leg. It was horrible. It was a horrible situation and sensation that I didn't have the power to swim up to the surface, you know? I mean, I did eventually. I was okay. I got to the surface. It was fine. I mean, it probably was only like over the period of like not even 5 seconds, but it felt like an eternity, you know, it felt like slow motion. But somehow I managed to complete my training. I have no idea how, but I managed all the exercises. But it was when I got out of the water that I felt how sore it was. I couldn't walk on my leg, it was agony. So I got taken to the doctors, and I don't know if it's just the difference in the way the US doctors work compared to the UK, but I never actually got told what was wrong. They did a bunch of scans, and then they gave me this like stint thing to put on it, and actually it was quite funny because when I first went to the doctors and I went in with the nurse, and she did like my blood pressure and just kind of checking up on me, and she asked where I was from, and when I said Scotland, she said to me, "Oh, you speak really good English." And I'm just like, okay, I know half the time Scottish people don't sound like they're talking English, but English is our first language, let me tell you. I was a little confused at the time, not gonna lie. Anyway, so obviously I was in a lot of pain and I couldn't stand for long, so I couldn't do my lifeguarding, obviously, and I couldn't teach riding. So instead I became an assistant director for the theatre production, which suited me fine because I've studied acting for many years. So I was very comfortable with that. And the night before the kids arrived, we got to go on a wild night out to the local Walmart. That probably sounds so stupid to half who's listening, but it was so exciting to us, like, woo, we get to go to Walmart. We travelled in style, let me tell you. We travelled in one of those yellow school buses, again, like you see in the movies. So there was a bunch of us British girls taking photos with the bus and stuff and going on about how epic this was, and then the other American counsellors were just like, hey, cool. Fun fact, this trip was when I first tried froyo, and I loved it. I turned my nose off at it, like at the thought of it. First I was like, who wants to eat frozen yogurt? Ew. But it was so good. Like, I've had cravings for it ever since. I've never had it since, but I've had cravings ever since. Anyway, the next day, the kids arrived, and basically the setup was there'd be 2 counsellors to a cabin with the kids, and we would take them to meal times, we'd eat with them, and we'd sleep in the same cabin as them, and we'd organise little games in the downtimes that we had, and then we'd go away during the day to teach activities, and that was when the kids went away to different activities. And the best thing about my experience at camp was honestly seeing the difference from when these kids arrived to the end of the week. Because we had to do one-on-one sessions with them every night just to check up on how they're doing and stuff. And the difference in confidence they had, but also in trust that they had with us, was so powerful. It was so beautiful to see, and to see these friendships grow in such a quick time. But I had a really hard time being there because I was in so much pain, and the camp was all hilly and stuff, so it made it really difficult for me to walk anyway. And I went away to a doctor's appointment near the end of the week, and I was away for almost the whole day. And when I came back, all the girls in my cabin, they had made little notes and stuff for me and stuck them on the curtain to my bedroom bit, and that just made me cry. That was the cutest thing, because the notes were so beautiful, like they cared about me so much. It was really, really heartwarming. But I did make the decision after a couple of weeks to leave camp and go home because I was in too much pain. I couldn't fulfill my duties because I had to be awake doctor's appointments, or I had to sleep in the medic camp, or I had to be dozed up in painkillers. I wasn't fit to be there. So I made the decision to leave. I'm glad I made the decision because I was miserable. Not because of camp, but because of the pain, and I felt like I was useless. I really did feel like I was useless. So I'm glad I made that decision, but also like I missed it so much. But it was a fantastic experience. I learned a lot about myself in that short time. I really do feel like I grew as a person. So if you're in a position where you're thinking about doing something like this, I would definitely suggest doing it. Go for it, because it's an incredible experience. But yeah, I've blabbered on for way too long in this video. I'm sorry. I hope that my story was at least slightly enjoyable so it doesn't feel so much of a drag. This is the build. Like I say, it has lots of detail. There's lots of little areas. I think it's a really playable lot as well. Like, yes, it may look good, but it's really easy to play and it's got everything you need. And I hope you like it. But thank you so much for watching. I always forget to say this. As always, it will be on the gallery for you to download. My ID is Ribbity6, but I'll put that in the description below. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye bye!